Hi, and welcome to day 36 of 365 Days of Art. You can see yesterday's project behind me where we used very soft pastel colors to do a moon over water with some finger painting. I want to keep employing the same technique. I am going to switch it up here in a few days, but I want to focus on this first while I'm kind of in the zone with it, which is what I like to do, but you do need a palette cleanser, so that's coming here shortly. For today's project, I do want to shake up the color scheme a little bit though, and we're gonna dive into some greens and yellows and try to do maybe some trees on a hillside. I'm really excited for it. It's either gonna turn out or it's not, but it's fun either way, right? So that being said, let's paint. Here we go, Arteza acrylics again today. And just the lines I have on my paper is I looked at my reference photo and just tried to sketch in where I thought the different breaks were in the mountains, and this was a really good picture to work from because there's actually very obvious breaks in colors in the photo, which helped me try to plan out the different layers that I really wanted to be able to convey. And here you can see I'm playing around with just mixing it on the page. I wasn't quite sure what green I wanted. And good practice for color matching, something I definitely need to do, is you can totally just go to like Lowe's or Home Depot and grab color swatches, and then you can sit down and try to match that different color swatch. Just play around with it and see how to actually get the right hue that you are going for. So thinking about doing a video on that. Maybe I'll go grab a couple different colors, because I would say that's another kind of the next hurdle for me, is that I want to get the correct colors. Abstract or not, things aren't going to look like what you want them to look like if you're not using the right color to convey it. The brain just, it looks at it and thinks, okay, that's all right, but that's not quite the right color, and that's how I feel about that background color right now. This part is coming along decently, but I think the biggest thing that I noticed as I was painting this time is that while I do like the Arteza acrylics colors, like they're pretty decent and I've been using them since I've started, this really made me want to go ahead and break into my golden paint. And that's just because I think I don't need as much paint as what I'm using. I keep trying to use a lot of paint with it, and then now I'm trying to scale back on this piece because I don't want to just throw all that paint on the page without it being necessary. Is I'm trying to retain my, finger strokes, I guess would be the right way in this one. Normally you would say brush strokes, but that is what I'm looking for. I want the paint to actually retain the impressions that I'm putting into it, and when it's thinner like this, it doesn't. I mean, it will just a little bit, but as it dries, it kind of flattens out, whereas if you use a heavy-bodied acrylic, then normally it'll retain those brush strokes, it'll retain the indentions that you put into it. You can kind of mold with it just a little bit. So that's something I'm thinking about, is going ahead and breaking out my golden acrylics. I can always do a base layer. That's what helps get you the opaqueness when you're painting. I've talked about that before. You kind of need the base coat, and then you can put color over top of it, and maybe we'll do that. And this is all just kind of the same as I've been doing, but using less paint just wasn't the way to go on this one. It wasn't retaining what I wanted, as much as it created some pretty cool textures on the page. I'm also wondering about sizing. There's little details that I keep wanting to put into these paintings, and I don't know if I need to figure out a way to do it with my fingers, if I want to keep doing this, if I need to play around with maybe using brushes to be able to make smaller ones, or do I just stick with my hands and go to a bigger canvas and give myself, the ability to make smaller details with my fingers, because obviously I can't resize my fingers like I can a brush. But I also don't necessarily want to have to practice on really large pieces, and that's something I kind of caution as a beginner, is if you go too big too fast, it's very overwhelming, especially because not only is that a lot of background to cover, that's a lot of paint that you're going to have to use, and you want to like it if it's going to be that big. They're not convenient. You can't just tuck them away. They gotta go somewhere. You can see here I'm playing with my palette knife. I started with the large edge, and it didn't work so well. Then I went to the small edge, and I just wanted a different texture. It was a very different texture between the background and the foreground in the image. I'm still not overly happy with it. The trees I'm alright with. The trees came out pretty okay, and I think part of that is I waited, like with the moon on yesterday's piece, I waited for that paint to dry just enough so that it was tacky, that I wasn't mixing the colors in it, but the paint was still adhering pretty well. And this is it. I wish I had a little more variation in that foreground, maybe had brought it up to a point a little more in the middle. Overall, it's okay. I don't hate it, I don't love it. I'm probably going to, yeah, I think we're gonna break out the heavy body acrylics. Maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow. I'm not officially decided on that, but it's a thought. All wrapped up for today. I think I'm gonna put this one in the in-between pile. I don't super love it, I don't hate it. It's just kinda, it's all right. I can live with it. No idea yet what I'm gonna do tomorrow. If you have something you would like to see, definitely toss it down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, really appreciate if you hit the like button and subscribe for more content. I post videos every day. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.